It happened pretty much the same way it happened the first time. Um, I have been feeling a real uh, tired and disgusted in my life, looking for some kind of direction. And I was watching the news today, and they said that the second Henry Glover trial was to begin. And I said, oh my God. Henry Glover was murdered by a New Orleans police officer, and then his death was covered up by some other police officers who put him in a car and torched it and burned him in the days immediately after Hurricane Katrina. It wasn't enough that Henry Glover had survived the hurricane, but he needed to survive what many blacks in New Orleans have not been able to survive, and that is the rogue New Orleans Police Department. So, a couple of years ago, I was watching the news, and on the news it said that the Danziger trial was to start the next day. Danziger is a name you will become very familiar with when if they have the second trial. And the Lord said to me, you need to attend the Danziger trial. And I said, oh Lord, no, please, not the Danziger trial. And that was the case where a few days after Katrina, again, some rogue NOPD officers, and they've been rogue. The whole New Orleans Police Department has been rogue since its inception. But this time they shot innocent women and children and men on the bridge a few days after Katrina while they were scouting for food and medicine for their loved ones who were stranded here. I sat in that trial in federal district court for several weeks, over a month. And I knew when I decided to obey God's assignment and go to that trial that I was going to be a different person when I came out than I was when I went in. And I was forever transformed. I'm an activist here in New Orleans and have been fighting police corruption and for many, many years, but never had I sat through a trial where all the gruesome details and autopsy reports and wounded victims. One man, Ronald Madison, mentally challenged man, was shot 5 times in the back, and I think he was shot in the chest. One lady, Susan Bartholomew, had her arm shot off and was shot in other places in her torso, that so much so that she couldn't even raise her right hand to testify in the trial against 5 NOPD officers that were all convicted and now may have to have a new trial because of some rogue federal prosecutors. So today, December 3rd, 2013, in a few hours, I'm going to be going to federal district court for the Eastern District of Louisiana to be an eyewitness to history of the second the second Glover trial. Again, Henry Glover was murdered by one police officer, and then to cover up that murder, a couple other police officers put him in a car and torched it in the days immediately after Hurricane Katrina. And if the cops will do that to you in the days immediately after the most catastrophic storm that has hit the United States, you can only imagine what they do on a daily basis. So every day I will be posting a video on what I hear and see and how it has transformed my life as I attend Glover trial number 2.